so now I get to train, remotely, but also really grow my online nutrition business with Shackley. So super stoked that I really have more time on my hands, and I'm more kind of the boss of my time. So I'm totally loving that right now.
We'll give you guys a chance to say hi, who you are, brief bio, what you're doing. And let's start with Kelsey, since her fingers are near the pad.
Sorry. I was unmuting it.
That's all the timing.
Hey, I'm Kelsey Clemens. I am a massage therapist, but currently not really working. So I got into Shackley, when was that, October? I think finally Christine got me into Shackley, but she's been hounding me for a while. Her son, John, trained at a gym that I was first starting out doing massage, and kind of got to know her a little bit that way. But last 2 years kind of has been talking about this Shackley stuff, and kind of coinciding that with my massage business, and started in October, and I've loved it ever since. And I've seen a huge change in my nutrition and how my body feels personally. And I don't have any, like bloating problems, and my energy is like gone way up and stuff. So I'm just trying to spread the word about it, because I truly believe in it, and I think it can help, a lot of people.
Awesome. You got a partner there in the background there, Brandon. You're hiding. Tell us a little.
No, man, I'm looking on the big screen. She's looking on the iPad. But
okay, good.
My name is Brandon Smith. I'm a personal trainer, born and raised from Colorado. Kelsey's been talking about this, and I've seen her do the challenges, and so she's just trying to make me a little bit more aware of it. And since I'm a personal trainer, I have a lot of people I can reach out to and change a lot of lives in the nutrition base. So I'm just here to get a little bit more information about it, and then spread the word.
Awesome, Brandon. How about you, Austin? Give you a chance to unmute.
I'm a professional mixed martial artist. I grew up in Aurora, Colorado. I'm also the membership manager at our gym. Obviously, we're not open right now, but so in the meantime, I'm looking to create some new income and just kind of hear what you guys.
We froze a little bit, but we got you. I remember.
Okay.
We've been watching mixed martial arts. My oldest is 21. I bet you when they were in middle school, when the first UFC reality TV shows were on back in the day, that's when it got us hooked into it. So it's
yeah, it's crazy. The actual first UFC event was here in Colorado, up in Broomfield back in '97. So we're actually the birthplace of UFC.
Good.
That's sweet.
Brandon,
Colorado, yeah.
Looking forward to meeting you guys in person when we're allowed to in the future.
Right.
Mark, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Mark. I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I've been using Shackley for probably about almost a year now. And kind of like Kelsey, just really enjoyed the extra energy that I've been getting. One of my favorites is the shakes in the morning. And that's about all I do for breakfast nowadays. But I guess my full-time job is I'm a financial accountant. So I'm a controller at an engineering company. And I haven't been working the Shackley business really that much, but I really want to get started, especially with all the new stuff that Shackley's coming out with.
Awesome, guys.
And you're an ultra distance runner.
I am, yep. So
you were supposed to be doing
this weekend. I'm actually doing a virtual 50.
Yeah, if I read right on Facebook, you were planning to do a 50 miler.
Canceled, so.
And you're still going to do it, right? Breaking up a little bit.
Yep. What was that?
You're still doing that 50 miler this weekend, right?
It's a 50K, so about 32 miles. But I'm still training for a 100 miler into June.
Go you.
So
I ran 7 miles in one time this year. I've done it about 5 or 6 times, but that's like a record in my whole life. 7 miles, without stopping. So I've got 313 miles this year.
Right.
Not one weekend.
Awesome.
So, well, you guys,
Hey, you're getting there.
yeah, we're getting close. Time for new shoes. I'm going to share a screen with you guys. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So we are all we're all been challenged since about in Colorado. I don't know about New Mexico, Mark, for you, but about March 26th, we were forced to stay home. A lot of us didn't really think that was reality at first. I think it didn't sink in with me until about 3 or 4 days later. It's like, no, this is real. And then they teased us with April 11, and that has been since gone away to the end of the month. I would expect it end of May. But I think the question is, as we talk about work from home, and we want to do something short and sweet every week, but this week we want to talk about why start your own business. And a few of you guys are 1099s, some W-2 employees. Christy and I are a mix of some of that. No W-2s right now in our life. But we want to walk through what we think are some benefits of starting your own business. And the first one is freedom. Where have you guys in your current world, where have you felt restricted or constrained in your vocation? In the past or currently?
I mean, kind of like my 11-hour day today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mark, is that stay at home 11 hours?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. I agree. That's hard.
One of the few times I was a W-2 employee, I was a teacher my first year out of college. I remember it was a grind. It was teaching my 4 preps, 1 off period, coaching football, running home to a newly married wife, grading papers, and passing out. I was exhausted. There wasn't a lot of freedom to it. And so I think one of the benefits of owning your own business is there's a freedom to be. It's a freedom to create. It's a freedom to dream. And it's a freedom to chase your dreams.
Okay, a second one. This one to me is a big one, personal development. I would say in the last 3 years, I have grown personally really in significant ways. And a lot of it was my mindset. I think I had a fixed mindset that when I was frustrated, I just want to quit. And I just didn't believe I had what it took to make something happen. And 3 years ago, all that shifted. I realized I have what it takes. I am enough, and I do add value to other people's lives. And that has given me just, I think, empowered me to lead, to really lead confidently and to really lead well. And so that's a huge thing, that when you own your own business, it's just the things that you're listening to, the podcast, the books, training, other people that you are constantly learning.
And as a husband of 20, we spent a lot of money on marriage counseling, probably, and some of that, actually, that's been a lot of helpful. But in the last 3 years, seeing what Christine's done to hire a personal coach in the area of personal development has transformed her, not as just as a business leader, but as a wife, as a mom, as a friend in her fitness world. It's pretty powerful to watch when someone takes personal development seriously. The next is gifting and calling. This is where your heart, your soul, your mind, your fingers, and your feet all intertwined, and it's a sweet spot. In my 20s, I don't think running a pillow manufacturing company was my gifting and calling. And I wouldn't necessarily say it is now. I kind of backed into it 6 years ago. For me, it's a mixing of, I love leading, I love inspiring, I love helping, I love community development. And so our Shackley business is actually a mixture of that for me. It's my gifting and my calling. It's where the sweet spot is for my soul. When I wake up in the morning, I go, this is it. So owning your own business can be that. It's not always that. I've owned others, and it was my shackles, and it was the ball and chain. But owning your own business can be your gifting and calling. Your homework this week, and this may cost some money, it may not, but start researching, and we'll send out an email afterwards and get that to you, Austin, as well, but take a skill set test, not a personality like a Myers-Briggs or a weakness test like the Enneagram, but something like the Berkman. Another one in the spiritual dimension has a faith background. It's called the Calling or the Call. But start researching something that can assess who you are, what your gifts are, your skills, your soul, and your passion and your calling. I think that'll move you a long ways into understanding what is going to be your business. The next one is tax benefits. I remember, this is probably 2 months ago now, Kelsey, we had a phone call. What is it? She's racing to her CPA, asking me questions, peppering me questions. Owning your own business as a stay-at-home business, even if it's not an LLC or it's an S Corp, but even if it's just like a Shackley business, and it's not a separate entity, there are massive tax benefits. The office we're sitting in, we write off every year. It's probably 12 feet by 12 feet. We write off our internet. We write off all these things that are tax benefits. Every time you buy a new product, that's considered product development. There are savings on owning your own business. We own 3 businesses, and there are significant tax benefits. In my 26 years of adulthood and working, I've really paid income tax 3 times because of different growth in things like that. So think through and talk to a CPA if you're thinking about starting a business, or even with a Shackley business. Talk to us, talk to a CPA, and we'll help you out.
Opportunity. This is one thing I would say about business, and especially I think for me, when I was working at a gym, it was like work for pay. I had to show up to the gym, teach my CrossFit class, and I got paid. And what I have loved about, for me, the only business I've personally owned is my Shackley business, and I love it because there's no ceiling. I can work it as much as I want. The opportunity is endless. I feel like it does match my mission, my gifting. I really love helping people in their health and fitness. I really want people to thrive in their health. And so I do a lot of social media, just free, nutrition consulting. I do some free fitness videos and things like that. But there's an opportunity that's limitless when you own your own business.
How about you guys? If you were to, what are some of your dreams? I've known Mark for a few years. I've gotten to know Kelsey over the last couple of years. But what are some of the opportunities or things that you're hoping for in your life that would open up?
I mean, for me, I would say like owning my own business, like own personal gym. Just so again, cut back on the hours. I mean, as a trainer, you're working when your clients want to work, so it could be early in the morning and late in the evening. So I like to just own something and then own a gym, and then not work as much and be able to work from home if I needed to.
The next benefit is choose who you want to work with.
I love this. I'm a people person, and the fact that, I probably secretly was hoping that Kelsey would come around way before she did, because you think about when you own a team and you own your own business like Shackley, and you're reaching out to people that you think are amazing, and you think, I would love to work with this person. You get to choose. And I have been, and I've had jobs where I had a boss and I had coworkers that I didn't like and I didn't respect and I didn't want to have around. And so as far as like owning your own business and choosing who you want to work with is truly a plus and an added benefit.
Yeah, you get to do the hiring and firing, and that's the joys, but you get to spend your time. So about 2 years ago, when I was getting haircuts, I was drinking at the time, so I was going to Scissors and Scotch in the tech center, and then I stopped drinking, so I had to break up with Melody. But at my last haircut appointment, Melody goes, I want to work with you and Christine. And I loved Melody. She's now the manager of Scissors and Scotch. She's expecting her first baby. But I got to go and then say, Christine, do we want to work with Melody? Is she kind of the type of leader that we want to work with? And immediately we said, yes. She's sharp. She's thinking. She's young. She's energetic. She gets it. And now we're just kind of helping her onboarding and start working with that process. When she's got a baby, she manages a new business. for somebody else, but she really wants to start her own. So we get to make those choices as business owners. The next is flexibility. And this is a little different than freedom, but flexibility is, especially now with stay at home. Christine and I have gotten to pivot. We own our own business, and we've got to put a lot of our time and energy in the last 2 weeks into our business. The markets have changed. The world has changed. We will no longer know the world as we knew it back in February. It's completely different. And so having your own business, especially like a stay-at-home business like Shaklee, it's allowed us to pivot and to respond appropriately. And it's in the flexibility of doing it whenever we want. When Kelsey was doing massages, she had the flexibility to work her side business at night. And so flexibility allows you to pivot with markets, smaller companies. My pillow company is a smaller company. And so I've gotten to pivot away from wholesale the last couple of weeks and spend all my money and resources and time and energy into my e-commerce. So owning your own business allows you that flexibility. Also, in the years that I've owned my own business, I've coached my son's football teams. I've been to all my kids' sporting events. So owning your own business gives you that flexibility. And the last one we want to talk about is
just rewards. I think, when you do something, we all have like a different desire of, I want to be recognized. I want to earn incentives, money, whatever that reward is. But I would say, even for me in my Shaklee business, that was something that I've gotten rewards. I've earned free trips.
She even took me once for a weekend in Playa del Carmen at a 5-star resort.
And there's been, whether it's recognition on stage or trips, but just, I think the rewards of personal growth, change lives, making a difference, doing something that matters. I think there's a lot, whether it's financially. Actually, I told this to Kelsey or Emily today, but my last month's check with Shaklee was my largest paycheck. And so you think about it, we're in a recession, so to speak. People aren't working, and yet that was my biggest paycheck from Shaklee was in March. So it's just, you never know. So there's some great rewards, I think, for doing something that people need and want. For me, I'm speaking personally about Shaklee, health, wellness, and finances.
And the rewards that I really would want for all of you guys, you're significantly younger. I don't know how old your cat is in cat years, so we may be the oldest people. But ultimately, a job is the jobs that we all know. The 1099 trainers, running a gym, Mark spending 11 hours at a CPA office or accounting office. We're exchanging our time for money. And when you don't own your own business, that can grow over time. The more that you hustle, you spend more time, you get some more money. And as you increase over the years, but you do hit a threshold. Ultimately, what the reward I want for you guys, and we want more for ourselves, is we want to spend less time and have more money. And as you build your own business, what you're moving in from is owning your own business, owning a job, to owning a system, owning an investment. And ultimately, that's the greatest reward to owning your own business, is building from exchanging time for money to exchanging more wisdom and experience for money. And that's only going to happen if you're going to own your own business. That's never going to happen if you're going to work for IBM or work for Lifetime Fitness. Is we hit a ceiling. And so ultimately, we want your reward to be that you would just increase your effectiveness. So what resonates with you guys? Mark must have dropped out. He has bad internet, and he also has 3 kids.
Yeah, he dropped. I told him we were recording, so his internet dropped.
So what resonates with you guys?
Yeah, I'll go. For me, I just have the mindset now that I want to make sure I'm making money while I'm not at the gym, pretty much. So,
Yes.
But that's, financial freedom is a big thing for me.
Yeah.
It is.
Austin, where do you work? Where's the gym that you manage?
It's Factory X. It's over here in Littleton. It's right off of Santa Fe and Bellevue.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's a professional mixed martial arts gym. So we have some guys that are in the UFC, and we got just like some open students. So I also teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu there too. So it's nonstop all day. But like when I still I just like to stay busy.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Austin, does anything resonate with you? Or I'm not sorry, not Austin, Brandon.
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as him. I mean, not having to work so much and being able to work from home. I'm always putting in hours at the gym, so it'd be nice just to sit at home and still have income coming in when I'm not always not have to be at the gym. So, yeah, something like that would be awesome.
Yeah, to encourage you guys as you are dabbling with figuring out what that could be. I jumped on board with my wife, and I've got other projects, but I jumped on 2 years ago, really humbly, because I think in the early years when she said, "Hey, I'm gonna start this Shackley thing," I'm one of those skeptical husbands. Thought this is going to be a hobby, this is going to cost us money, and it's really not going to do anything. And then I began to watch over the years, and I watched some of my businesses grow and then crash, not because of the work, but because I chose the wrong industry, I chose the wrong constraints. They were significantly higher risk than jumping into Shackley. I think Shackley right now you can jump in for $25. That's the lowest risk business. I started another business a couple years ago for $5,000. It was 4 of us. And within a year, it was dead in the water. Great idea. Just didn't have the right infrastructure, the team, the resources. And so 2 years ago, I said, Christina, I'm jumping on with you. Humbly, I'm sorry, basically for my arrogance. But it's one of the few jobs that I can mix my gifting, my calling, the asset income that I was talking about. I want to build something that when I'm 60, my paychecks are $300,000, not diminishing. My mom and dad are retiring, and theirs are diminishing. They're working on Social Security. Some of our leaders, their paychecks are they're in their late 60s, and they're well into their $300,000. That blows me away. As I get older, I want to get wiser, and I want to have a deeper impact on the generations to come. So as you guys dabble in it, we want to keep these pretty short. Do you guys have any questions, comments? And we're going to do different topics along the way. Do you have any questions?
Well, I was going to say, it sounds like too, based, Brandon and Austin is, did you, either of you get to see the 15-minute Roger Barnett, the CEO, about the stimulus plan that Shackley is offering now? And that's probably what generated, Kelsey reaching out to you both.
She muted me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's on the website.
I was able to see it. I mean, I thought it was awesome. That's what made me take the time tonight to be here with you guys, just to get a little bit more information about it and stuff. So I mean, it's been awesome.
I would say, let us I'll send you something out tomorrow via email, and Austin, I'll get yours too, or Kelsey can always forward on. But I'll say next Thursday, We'll do this every Thursday, 7:30. And we're going to make sure we run through that stimulus plan and just really spend the time, the whole 30 minutes, and really make sure you understand how to get started.
Yeah, we want to add a small snippet of skills on how to grow your business, specifically in Shackley. We want to add some Q&A. We want to have you guys field us questions throughout the week so we can respond to you appropriately, because we want to get to know you as well. If Kelsey likes you guys, then we like you. And that's so when we get to choose to work with people, it's building a community of leaders. You guys have already learned how to develop people. Austin's basically running somebody else's business. He's training other people. Kelsey's running her own business. Brandon, you're caring and taking care of. You're building somebody else's business. So the skill sets are all there. The work ethic is there. That's very evident. And now it's just putting the right resources, a small investment, and then now pressing this down to others. We'll make this available. It might resonate with you to share with somebody else. Ultimately, and we'll talk about this in the weeks to come, ultimately, we want to help you find other leaders. That's going to make you more successful. And so it's not brain surgery. I bet you guys could come up with a list of 10 things of why you want to start your own business and what are the benefits, and you could share that with others. I would say your homework assignment is to start researching a gifting and calling. Where does that mix? You may already know that. That's excellent. Put that on paper. Share it with somebody. Share it with Kelsey. Share it with Christine. So find out what that gifting and calling is. 2, write a list of people who don't say no for them, who you might think would work with you in building this business. And then I would write, because this also clears up it breaks the dam and let things go in motion. What's the thing that's hindering you? You were starting a mattress store back in the day. Mark and I had to come up with $150,000 to start a mattress store. That's a big hindrance. We basically sold our house and moved into a rental to do that. Well, Shackley changes that. It's $25. We can find that for you. So those are your 3 homework assignments. What's hindering you from possibly starting your own Shackley business? 2, who are some people that you could potentially share with that will maximize your efforts and your impact? And the first is, what is your gifting and calling? Where's that sweet spot of your soul, your mind, your fingers, and your feet? Any questions as we close, because we want to honor your time?
No questions. I'll just look forward to next Thursday for sure, and I'll look forward to that email.
Awesome. That email for sure. I'll make sure it comes tomorrow. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. No questions.
Good.
And then I would say, while you get that, just write those questions down. But we'll just start generating and getting this going for you guys and just fleshing it out. So kudos to you, Kelsey, for getting these guys on to listen, to take
Brandon,
a look.
I've heard your name, Brandon, but now I'm glad I got to see your face and get to know you a little better. Austin, I've never heard your name, never saw your face, but the interaction so far has been great. So I look forward to getting to know you guys more.
Awesome.
For sure.
Awesome,
Nice
dude.
meeting you guys.
All right.
All right, take care, guys.
Yep,
Take care.
have a good
Bye-bye.
one.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Have a good night.